Hi, I'm Madame Pamita, and this is Madame Pamita's Parlor of Wonders. You can find me online at parlorofwonders.com. Well, I'm very excited for today's video because I'm going to be sharing with you some advanced secrets for working with a skull candle. I have another video up online that has a skull candle spell in it, but it's a very basic skull candle spell. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some more advanced techniques, new ways to think about working with skull candles, and of course, debuting my fabulous line of beeswax skull candles. We just came out with a bunch of gorgeous beeswax, 100% beeswax skull candles here at the Parlor of Wonders that we make here ourselves. And they come in a variety of colors that the paraffin skull candles don't come in. So we've got, of course, the black and the white and the red, but we also have green if you want to do some money work, some blue if you want reconciliation work, purple for power, pink for sweetness and romance. So you have more choices in the color for your spell, and particularly focusing your spell in a certain way. We've even got little skull candles, and these also come in the same variety, including orange for success and good luck. So today we're going to be talking about loading a skull candle. What does it mean to load a candle? Well, you can load any sort of candle, but skull candles in particular are really sort of lend themselves in some way to loading. And I'll show you what I mean by loading a candle. So we're going to work with a blue skull candle for reconciliation. Now, the reason you'd want to use a skull candle is because you want to influence someone's thoughts or you want to shift your own thinking. So you can use a skull candle on someone else or you can use it on yourself. In our example here, though, we're going to be using a blue skull candle, and that's for calm, tranquility, peace, healing, and reconciliation work. So in our example, we're going to pretend that we're working on a spell to get someone to get over being mad at us or reconcile with us in some way. So we would use a blue candle. The way you load a candle is to carve a hole in the bottom of a candle and then fill it with herbs, personal concerns, a petition paper, or whatever you want to give that candle that power of those objects. So skull candles are great for this because there's a big bottom that we can carve out here and we can put in lots of things in there. So what you're going to need to do a loaded candle is the candle, of course, itself. And you're going to need a knife. And in the bottom of the candle, you're going to carve out a hole to place your objects in. In this case, our candle is going to be loaded with lavender, balm of Gilead, and borage. We could also put, if we wanted, we could put a personal concern like a piece of our hair and a piece of the other person's hair, or we could put a petition paper saying what it is that we want. But the thing that we're going to do is to first take our knife and carve out a hole in the bottom of that candle. This is a little bit trickier. The smaller the candle is, it's trickier. So you need to sort of have a good size pillar candle at least to do this. I don't think it's a little bit difficult with taper candles or those smaller, skinnier candles. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm reserving all of the extra wax because I'm going to be using it later. So you don't throw that away when you're carving out your hole. Okay, and you just want to make sure you have enough space to put everything that you want to put in there. So now I've carved a hole in the bottom of my candle. I'm ready to load it. To load that candle, I'm going to put a little bit of each of the herbs that I'm using magically. So first I'm going to start with balm of Gilead because that's the biggest one. But I'm going to find a real small one. There we go, a nice small one that will fit in my candle. And then balm of Gilead, I would ask to do, you'd ask each herb as you're putting it into the candle what it is that you want to, the work that you want that herb to do. So balm of Gilead is great for calming an energy, calming angry feelings, softening the emotions. So balm of Gilead, soften the emotions of my target, make him or her calm and peaceful and ready to make peace. Lavender is good for softening and sweetening emotions. It's a very loving sort of herb, but it's also a calming herb. So you could put that lavender in and ask for calm, peace, tranquility, reconciliation. And lastly, borage is great for peace in the home, happiness, calm, and so on. So now we have all of our herbs loaded into that candle. And then what you need to do is seal that loaded candle. So you're going to take the wax that you dug out and place it on top. Since this is beeswax, it's kind of soft and you can almost just push it down in there and have it stay. But you're covering up those herbs that you've secretly loaded in there. And then you can take a lighter or a match. I like to use a lighter because you can sustain that heat for a while. It's a little bit easier than a match for this kind of work. And soften and melt that wax in there so that it fills in that hole. And you wait for that to smooth out. You can even use the knife to press it down in there. You can use your fingers, but be careful for the hot wax. You don't want to burn yourself. There. So there I have my candle is loaded and ready to go. Now all I would need to do at this point is to inscribe what I wanted using a nail or a ritual knife, inscribe what I wanted the person to think. I could dress the candle with reconciliation oil or return to me oil and so on. Then I'd light that candle and burn it for that goal of reconciliation. So before, I would say there's one other thing I would like to add to this, is that whenever you work with a skull candle, you can do the work, load the candle, dress it with the oil in upward motion, light the candle all on the same day. But there's another way that you can work with the candle that's somewhat like working with a puppet and working with a candle too. And that is to spend 7 days, 3 days, 5 days, any kind of magical number, 13 days. And you can spend that time talking to that candle before you light it. So you could use it like a puppet for, let's say, 13 days, where you're talking every day to that candle. John Smith, you're going to want to reconcile with me. You're going to want to make up. You're going to make peace with me, and so on. Applying that oil every day. And then on the 13th day, lighting that candle. And there you have a very, very powerful energy that's built up as you've been talking to this candle like a puppet every day for 13 days. So those are some advanced techniques for working with skull candle. Loading it, talking to it, working it before you light it, and something that makes a very, very powerful spell. Thanks so much for listening. I am Madame Pamita, and this is Madame Pamita's Parlor of Wonders. You can find me online at parlorofwonders.com.